Hi, Doug Noll here, and this video is all about how to stop suppressing your emotions. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be sharing a hack with you that will help you master your emotions instead of suppressing them. I want to start off with why we suppress our emotions, and it's probably not what you think. Let's start with the myth of rationality. For 4,000 years, we've been taught that what separates humans from other animals is rationality. And this has been taught to us by theologians and by philosophers and by our entire educational system. We were taught that to be human is to be rational. And in fact, we were told that emotions are weak, they're irrational, they're bad, and even evil. But all of that was wrong. It's a complete myth. There is no science to support any of that. And in fact, there is a new insight from neuroscience that tells us that we are 98% emotional and only 2% rational. So here we are in a society that tells us that we have to deny our emotions. And as a result, we try to suppress them, and that creates a lot of problems. So in addition to the cultural problem we are also subjected to emotional invalidation. And this starts at the earliest age. Think about this little girl right here, and imagine that she is your daughter. What do you say to her when you see her upset like this? So you might say something like, "It's not that big a deal," or "There's no reason to cry, but I do listen to you. You're just not being rational." Imagine saying that to a 4-year-old. "Don't be sad. You're way too emotional. It can't be that bad. Get over it. You'll be okay. Don't be such a drama queen. Stop crying." Phrases like this and hundreds of others are told to little children by their parents without even understanding that what the parents are doing is destroying the child's brain. And you were emotionally invalidated as a child. The result of emotional invalidation is that you were told, don't feel. Don't feel emotions. It's bad to feel emotions. And as a result, you never felt emotionally safe. There was no emotional safety in your life. But here's the thing, emotions are part of what makes us human. In fact, it's 98% of who we are is our emotions. And so when you feel emotions as a child and you're told not to feel, you feel shame. You feel unworthy. You feel unlovable. And you start to gain some adopted strategies to help you cope with the stress of being told on the one side, it's bad to feel emotions, but experiencing emotions yourself as a reality. So one strategy that you might have adopted is denial. I don't feel anything. I'm a rock. I'm an island. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. Another strategy is to make yourself emotionally unavailable. If I don't have to open up my emotions to you, then I don't have to deal with the pain and the fear and the scariness that I might be hurt by emotional experience. Or you might be emotionally defended or emotionally defensive, so that whenever emotions arise within you or you experience emotion with somebody else, you feel anxiety. And so you run from those emotions like a scalded cat. Or you might adopt the stoic attitude of stiff upper lip and don't let them see you sweat. And the idea is that you don't show emotions even though they're whirling around inside of you like boiling water. Or you might try to show yourself as being tough and strong, that you're beyond emotional experience. Or you might even try to be macho and just take your masculinity, or even to a certain degree machismo, femininity, and demonstrate that you can power through anything and you don't feel anything. All of this are behaviors in service of denying your emotions. And the result? Heart disease, autoimmune disorders, diabetes, irritated bowel syndrome, ulcers, and a host of other metabolically based diseases that will kill you at an early life because you are suppressing your emotions. So I hope I've convinced you by this point that suppressing your emotions is bad. The idea of the rugged individualist, of being the John Wayne out there, is not only wrong, it's really, really unhealthy. So I've got a hack for you. And here is the hack based on brain science. Label your emotions as you experience them. Now, if you're not comfortable with your emotions because you've been in denial for so long, you have to recognize that emotions are going to be unstructured data in your brain, and you have to find a way to structure emotional data so that you can use it. And here's how you do it. You're going to structure your emotional data by understanding that emotions come in layers. And those layers include anger, frustration, avoidance, rage, and hatred at the very top of the cake. And then underneath that, disrespect, feeling ignored, not being heard, being unsupported, being unappreciated. And then under that, the fear emotions: fear, anxiety, worry, concern, scared, frightened, or terrified. And underneath that, shame, humiliation, embarrassment, and guilt. And underneath that, sadness, grief, distress, upset, being gloomy, and being unhappy. And finally, at the bottom, abandonment, betrayal, feeling unloved, rejected, unlovable, and unworthy. So whenever you have an emotional experience, you might want to write down these layers and say, okay, in which of these layers is coming up for me right now? And then you want to find the words within the layer that describes best what you are experiencing emotionally. So for example, you might say, I'm angry. Or you might say, I'm annoyed. I feel disrespected. I'm anxious. I'm sad right now. I'm frustrated. What brain scanning studies show is that when you label your emotion, you diminish or inhibit the emotional centers of your brain that are dominating you right now, and you allow what's known as your ventrolateral prefrontal cortex to come back online so that you can start processing information again. If you don't label your emotions and you try to suppress them, the emotions are still there, and you can't think clearly. You can't process. So it becomes critical for you to label your emotions so that your thinking part of the brain, the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex, can assess your emotional experience and allow you to process your emotions in a healthy way. And that is the only way to avoid all of the unhealthy things that come from suppressing or denying your emotions. Your emotions will not kill you. I'll just tell you a very quick story of how I learned this. I, like many people, was emotionally defended, emotionally unavailable. I was aloof. I had a lot of emotional pain early in my life. Unfortunately, I went through a divorce that was very sad. And one day I was driving past the road where my old house used to be, and I was overcome with grief. I would have used to just push it down and push it aside and say, I don't need to feel that right now. But this time I made a different decision. I pulled over to the side of the road out of traffic, up in the country in the central Sierra Nevada of California where I live, and I allowed myself to succumb to the grief. And I just let myself fall into this black hole of grief and sadness and upset and distress and loss that I felt. And I cried and sobbed. And I said, I'm not going to allow myself out of this. There was a part of me that was just panicking, going crazy, and said, stop, you're going to be annihilated. And I did not allow myself to do that. I allowed myself to experience the full extent of all the emotions surrounding my divorce. And it only lasted for 3 minutes. And when I came out the other side, all of those emotions that I've been holding inside myself for years completely vanished. And I came out a completely different human being. And I learned that emotions not only do not kill you, they help you. So learn how to master your emotions and become fully human. Look at some of the other videos on this channel to learn more about how you can become a fully emotional being and master of the universe. So my name is Doug Noll. I'm a lawyer turned peacemaker. I'm an author, speaker, trainer, and visionary. I'm co-founder of the award-winning Prison of Peace project, where we train murderers to be peacemakers in maximum security prisons. And I'm dedicated to helping people like you live fulfilled lives. I offer individualized training and coaching to a select group of clients, And if you'd like to set up a call to explore the possibilities, feel free to email me at doug@dougnoll.com. And sign up for the basic emotional competency course at https://dougnoll.co emotional-competency. If you like this video, give me a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.